And the Minister joins us live now to talk about this. Minister, good evening to you and thank you so much for your time. So, some are describing this as a slow recovery, while others say these numbers, in fact, are telling the story of a resilient sector. Perhaps let's start there.
Yes, Bonguwe, we are not recovering anymore. We are growing. And with the 10.48 million visitors that we've received in 2025, we are already 2.6% more than the 2019 figures. But this is not by coincidence. It is because we have partnered with the tourism private sector, and we have developed a tourism growth partnership plan that was approved by Cabinet recently. And also on top of that, we have put more focus on making it easy access for tourists by the Home Affairs leading with the electronic travel authorization visa. That is a real game changer, and it's also an enabler for us to grow the numbers. Secondly, Cabinet also approved tourism destination marketing route development to get more flights to come to our country. And together with the policy selections that we've done, we are certain that tourism policy is economic policy. Tourism sits at the center of investment. We have developed tourism infrastructure investment projects, more than 8, worth more than 1 billion. We have also had our first investment summit that we will be repeating this year. And of course, you know, the whole issue of digital transformation and the impact of technology and AI on tourism. South Africa has got an AI road framework whereby it is the role and responsibility of government to provide connectivity to all, to bridge the digital divide. And while government is rolling all out of this, it also assists and helps tourism to grow even further.
And this, I want to stay with the Tourism Growth Partnership Plan because it really speaks a lot to some of the issues. I mean, I think about what you've just said, access. I also think about air connectivity, for example, because the G20 Tourism Working Group was speaking about this issue of air connectivity. Are we likely to be seeing new routes, and by when are we going to be seeing these?
We have already seen a number of new routes. For instance, Qantas from Australia is now flying directly from Perth to South Africa. And as we know, a number of South Africans live in Perth. We have seen Air France increasing their frequency. Also on the domestic front, we've seen flights South Air also connecting more domestic flights. So yes, there's definitely a growth, and it's that growth in the airlift and the air access strategy is helping up to drive demand. But I will be the first one to admit, Bonguwe, that we've still got a lot more work to do. Cabinet approved the plan, and now it is for us to work together with the private sector, the Department of Tourism, the aviation sector, to even make sure that we get more direct flights to South Africa. Tourists don't always like to connect flights, and therefore direct flights to South Africa is so important for us.
And you speak about the work that still needs to be done. Something really comes to my mind right now. Just recently, we saw the floods, right? We saw them in Mpumalanga, in Limpopo, and we saw what happened at the Kruger and what they've had to deal with there as far as even the numbers and the bookings are concerned. How are you working around this? Because the weather is becoming an issue, and it seems to be something that we cannot avoid.
Climate change is real, and therefore in government, we have to make sure that we overlay all our decisions that we are making with the impact of climate change. Of course, we want to pass our condolences to all the South Africans that have lost their lives. But again, from the Department of Tourism, we have made available our EPWP budget to help with the cleaning up and the mopping up. And so we will be helping both public and private sector establishments with the cleanup. The Kruger National Park has also started raising funding for the recovery, because we have worked together with all of those affected tourists to either give them alternative safari lodge experience that they can have. And in future, we have to be more prepared for what we've seen with the floods now affecting tourism in a big time. But we've been able to mitigate the impact of the floods on our tourist arrivals.
Now, I know we've earned some bragging rights, right, as South Africa. Being named the best destination,
Oh, yes.
Africa 2025 is no small feat. Let's speak about this particular development and the economic spin-offs.
You know, over and above that, I've just returned from Davos. And there the whole World Economic Forum selected South Africa to host the Spring Davos in 2027. It will bring heads of states, policymakers, captains of industry together. And that is that we are still riding on the wave of the success of the G20, where we have illustrated and demonstrated that we are capable to host these kinds of business events. Business events is part of the tourism growth strategy. We have invested money for the year of 2026. We put in a bid or bids for 91 events. So far, we have been successful with 51 events all over South Africa. That shows confidence in our country, but also with the major investment of the French luxury tourism brand Club Med that will be opening up in Durban in June this year. That shows that the 2.5 billion rand invested to a public-private partnership, that even investors has got confidence. Mm-hmm. And therefore, I also want to use the opportunity to congratulate KwaZulu-Natal. Durban has returned to its rightful spot, and they've received more than 1.2 million tourists just over the festive season. Sure. So it's really a sector that is now growing because we are past the recovery stage of COVID-19. I don't want to hear the word COVID-19 anymore.
Yeah, it's gone. And quickly, before I let you go, these figures, right, when we look at them, we know what the US president has been saying about the country, the posture that is, and you speak about investors. Does it tell us that this didn't have an impact at all?
It didn't have an impact at all, Bongiwe. You know, tourism is not affected by tariffs. But what we've seen, especially with the hostility between ourselves and the United States of America, that in the month of August and September, that the arrivals coming from the United States of America actually more visitors came compared to the UK visitors. And I personally think that many of those Americans wanted to come and see, you know, is there real genocide here? What is this country all about? So it didn't have an impact on tourists at all. And in fact, it has assisted us to grow the American market.
Minister, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Bongiwe.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That was the Tourism Minister there, Patricia de Lille.